What's going on, guys? Jacoby Kendrick here, the BJJ Realtor, coming at you with another video, and one that I am really excited about. And so I just got back just recently from a Gordon Ryan seminar. He was at the Who's Number One, which ended up being Craig Jones versus Panza. It was supposed to be Gordon Ryan versus Panza, but as we all know, he's been having some stomach issues, and so he's a little bit sick, but he is actually still teaching and coaching. So a really good opportunity. I was in Austin, Texas, and I just want to say this was one of the best seminars that I've ever been to. I've never met Gordon Ryan. The only thing I've seen about him is I have some of his instructional videos and what I've seen about him on social media. And so I want to give you a couple of things, my takeaways, and then a little review on the seminar, just so you have some idea of what it's like to go to one of these seminars. So for me, I wanted to go to the seminar, number one, because it's actually really close to my hometown. So it's only like it's only about an hour flight. We had to fly to Dallas, then to Austin, so it was a little bit longer. But myself and a training partner and really good friend of mine, we went together. So we just went down there real quick, did the seminar, turned around and came home. And so the fact that Gordon is in Austin and he's doing these seminars is a really good opportunity for myself. And I always want to learn from the best. You can always take something from someone no matter what. And so the fact that, it was Gordon was just like a cherry on top of everything. And so here's how the event went. We came in, we checked in, everyone kind of got there. I would say there were probably about 60 people at the seminar. They had two large mat spaces for us to actually drill the techniques that he was showing us. For me, I was really hoping he would do some like leg lock techniques, or at least some concepts about leg locks. That didn't end up being what he ended up teaching, but I'll tell you about that here in just a second. So 2 mat spaces, about 60 people. You just drill technique that he's showing you, and he shows you everything step by step. So if you have seen Gordon's instructionals or John Danaher's instructionals, you kind of get an idea of how they teach. It's like a sequenced approach, step-by-step system. You do this, you know what your opponent's going to do. This is how you negate your opponent. This is why you're doing what you're doing. Really good teaching from that standpoint. So when we got there, Gordon shows up. He shows up with Sonny, and then he just sits on the edge of the mat and he just goes straight into the technique. It was really weird to me because I've never been to a seminar where somebody literally doesn't say hi to you, doesn't introduce themselves. They literally just start teaching. But it was really good. It worked out. So he literally sat on the edge of the mat, said, "This is what I'm going to be teaching," it was side control, some side control attacks. Basically isolating the far arm and isolating the near arm. That's what he explained, and then he just went right into it, and it was absolute gold. So I'm not going to share, I don't really do techniques, so I'm not going to share with you what he showed us, because you can find techniques anywhere and everywhere from black belts. I'm not a black belt, so you don't need to be learning technique from me. But what he taught was really good, and what I think was invaluable, because the information he actually gave us, you could actually get on an instructional that he has. But the difference is that as we were drilling, he literally went by to every single person. And if you had a question, he would either answer it, he would adjust you, or where I got the most value from, my training partner, he actually asked a question, and then he got down and actually put me in side control. And just to see and to feel his pressure, and like where he puts pressure down in certain areas of the position that you just don't think about, was like invaluable. And so what I would say is having someone do a technique on you is better than them just explaining the technique. And so that's a lot of times what I like to do whenever someone's showing something, or they say you put pressure here, I just say, well, can you put me in that position just so I can actually feel it? And then because I have an idea of what I would do to get out of the position, he put me in that position, and then I kind of like tried to escape, tried to pull a quick one on him. Not like super powerful, but like really subtle, just to see like where he transfers his weight and all that. And so that was probably one of the most valuable points of the seminar, when he got down and actually demonstrated the side control position on me. And so that was worth what we paid to get into the seminar. So that was really, really good. The other takeaway I got from Gordon Ryan is he is an absolute professional, right? And so he answered every question that every person asked. He actually stayed 2 hours after the seminar was over and answered questions in a Q&A. Every question. And no question did he, no matter who the person was, because there were kids there, juveniles there, and then there were black belts there. And I'm sure we were in no-gi, so I don't know what people's belts are, but I'm sure there were white belts as well, especially gauging off the questions that were being asked. And he answered every question as though it was the most important question that he's ever heard. And that was probably the most impressive thing to me, is like some of the folks in the crowd were like, why is this guy asking this question? But Gordon like never skipped a beat. He literally just went bam, 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 bam. Oh, you have this question? Okay, well, is this what you meant? I don't really understand your question. Yeah, well, I meant this. Oh, okay, well, this is how you do it. Or this is what I was thinking. Or this is what I would do. And he never made anyone feel like small. I know everybody has those times where they're like, oh, this is a dumb question. Like, I don't want to answer it. And he really provided an environment where people actually felt comfortable to ask those types of questions. And that was one of the most impressive things to me, because I know if I would have been answering some of those questions, I probably would have been tired and like, I've answered this before, or this is, but it was really challenging and really inspiring just to see him do that. And so that's the other thing I would say is like, if I only knew what I knew from social media, like my attitude towards Gordon, I've always admired what he's done on the mats, but actually seeing him interact with people and interact with like the kids as well. One of a guy that I compete against quite often, he actually brought his son to the event, and I watched Gordon while he was showing his son some techniques. And like I said, he was treating him the same as he treated everybody else. And so that was really impressive to me. He's totally different than what you would see on social media. So real down to earth guy, super awesome. And he's a big dude too. It was so funny. I took a picture with him, and it's on my social media. Probably the most comments I got in my direct messages were, man, Gordon almost makes you look small. Cause I'm a big guy. Like I'm 6 foot, 200, and usually walk around at 220, depends on, what competition I've got going on. But I'm 6 foot, 220 pounds, and most people are saying he makes me almost look small. So he's a big dude. He's 6'2", thick guy. You could tell this is what he does for his career. And he's a professional. And you could see that the minute he walks in the room and how he explains his techniques. And so that's really always awesome for me to see, because I've been an athlete all my life. I had the opportunity to play in the NFL. And when you get to that level, there's just a different level between an amateur and a pro. And Gordon Ryan is definitely a pro, and he definitely knows his stuff. So if you ever have the opportunity to do a seminar with him, I would definitely do it. I would encourage you to do it if you have the ability to do it. It was really good. The things on the mat and off the mat that he was coaching as well. So that was the other thing I thought was really impressive. So if you have any questions for me, or you have any specific questions that I maybe didn't answer in this video, feel free to ask them. And then if you made it this far, I always encourage you to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. That way, every time I come out with some new content, you'll be the first to know. Talk to you guys later. Os.